to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to tonight's Planning Board Workshop meeting. Please be aware of the fire exits. In the event of emergency, please move in a calm and orderly fashion down the stairs, and please do not use the elevators. This evening's Planning Board Workshop meeting is for review of the cases that have been scheduled for a public hearing. No public input is accepted at workshop meetings. The public hearing meeting date has been scheduled for Wednesday, February 18th, 2026 at 7 o'clock p.m. sharp in the Broderick Room. This is a change from the original date. Any public wishing to comment may submit written comments up until the business day before the public hearing by 4 o'clock p.m. by email to planningboard@arundecoit.gov, hand-delivered to the Planning and Zoning Department, or by mail. Comments submitted for public input must include the project address as well as the commenter's name and address. The public may also plan to attend the public hearing to provide verbal comments at the meeting scheduled again on Wednesday, February 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. Thank you, and please call the first case on our agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First case on the agenda is case number PB 2025.12.01. Request by Costage Engineering on behalf of HSB Architects and Engineers and representing KeyBank for preliminary final site plan approval for the proposed construction of a plus or minus 3,500 square foot freestanding building to include drive-through auto teller lane and 24-hour drive-through ATM and other associated site amenities on premises 1765 East Ridge Road in the Ridge Road Planned Development District.
As a reminder, please state your name and address when addressing the board. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Madison Wakama. I'm here on behalf of Ben Gingrich for HSB Architects. Address is 1250 Old River Road, Cleveland, Ohio. As stated, we are proposing a new about 3,500 square foot KeyBank branch with drive-through, auto teller, and ATM. And that's about my part. And then I'll have Evan from Costage take over for the site plan. Thank you.
Good evening. Evan Gaffel with Costage Engineering, 217 Lake Ave. So you may remember this parcel with the Aldi's development. This was kind of the out parcel to the east. So we are proposing KeyBank here. The site is situated where you enter the site through a shared agreement. The drive-through wraps around to the ATM and the teller and parking surrounding. It's kind of set up for development like this. Stormwater, there was an agreement. There's actually surrounding land there that has a common maintenance agreement. That's why part of the bioretention was kind of identified in that location during the first phase. So we're essentially collecting all the runoff and taking it back to the bioretention. A lot of the utilities on the site were stubbed during the construction of the Aldi's project. And we have added some, knowing the corridor we're on, some buffer plantings along the front that will get 2 to 3 more closer to the 3-foot side, and some buffering for the transformer that we have internal to the site. That's kind of a quick overview. If there's questions, we'd be happy to answer. Yes, we received the comments this afternoon. We went through them. We will address them and make the required changes or add the additional information. I know with the meeting kind of being next week and turning around quick, we're going to jump right on that to get that submitted back. So hopefully there's time for Labella to review it prior to next Wednesday.
And there's no questions on any of them?
I don't have any questions. No.
Anybody else on the board have questions?
The signage package, Do we have that?
Our signage will be done by a vendor under a separate permit. We are not requesting any signage.
Under a separate application?
Yes,
Is what you're telling me? Okay.
and that, it goes for like directional signage and anything on the site. We're not proposing that at this time. That'll be different.
Yeah, wayfinding signs aren't usually
Yeah.
a big problem for this board.
Okay.
It's the other signs that we'll be more interested in.
All right, thank you.
And is there lighting on the building?
I think if you look at Labella's letter, it mentions that they're called out, but there's no information on them. You're gonna provide
You're
that.
gonna definitely wanna do that, or else you're
Yeah,
not gonna
I
have
can
fun.
answer to that now, but we're also going to update that. Under the Key Bank sign on the front elevation of the building, there's 3 downlights that are incorporated in that silver bar that holds up the Key Bank signage, and there's 1 wall pack for emergency lighting on the back, and that would be the only
So
wall.
you're gonna just wanna do a sheet on those and
Okay.
on the Calvin and everything
Yep.
else, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What's the front of the trash, container made of?
Oh,
you
that's
guys-
going, PVC planks we're going to
Planks?
do.
And they're adhered to,
To a metal frame.
okay. And you guys decided that you need to go with a dumpster, you can't not have a dumpster?
They requested it for this location, the client did.
Because
It's just their standard.
they just generate so much garbage, they need a dumpster?
Yeah, it's in all of them that I've built for the
Yeah,
client,
I get that everybody says that's what they want. Sometimes they don't actually need that. So it could be a savings. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know why they have to have a dumpster there, but I'm putting it out. I'm sure I'll think of a million more things by the 18th, but right now, I'm good.
The lighting plan provided that we do have offers a lot of spillage off the property. And some of it actually goes out into Ridge Road to the north, which is definitely not going to be, we're going to have to do something with that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's tough to contain it where we are in that corner, and how the parking is set up there. But, that light level, I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
the parking lots off the property of that would not be really in purview, but the Ridge
Right.
Road to the north out to the actual, across the sidewalks and into the actual county road would be an issue for sure.
yeah, I mean, the light spill, it's 0.09, 0.1, it's pretty,
Yeah, we got a 1.3 on the sidewalk, a 1.7, 1.1. We're in the 08s, 09s, out on the road, past the sidewalk, so we're just gonna have to look at some sort of shadow or some sort of
cut off.
lens
Yeah,
that can
yeah.
just downdraft it to the sidewalk at a maximum.
Okay,
Is all that proposed lighting, or is any of that existing?
that's proposed.
So you really want to brighten up the skies?
Well, it's security with being a bank. There's also certain laws and requirements for lighting levels because of the ATM.
Oh, yeah.
We dealt with this with citizens, with the security lighting, but I think it can be contained with some lenses out to the Ridge Road for sure.
So I apologize, I wasn't at the workshop. Did they discuss what we require for lighting 2 hours before, besides what you have to light for the ATM area and so forth? But we request that you extinguish, is it 2 hours after and 2 hours before? Or 1 hour before, 1 hour before and 2 hours after? Did they discuss that at the workshop, or? It was? Michelle?
If it
I was
was or wasn't, it doesn't matter.
It was a sketch plan.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
a sketch plan?
They came for a sketch plan.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know if we talked about the lighting at that.
No.
No, so is that going to be an issue for you? Or is what we request of everybody? Not around where the 24-hour ATM access and so forth.
Sure.
There's certain lighting requirements, but actual building lighting and so forth.
So it's turning it off.
2 hours after close
okay.
and
Can be
turn it on.
reignited 1 hour prior to opening,
Okay.
all right?
We'll have to go back to KeyBank can discuss, yep.
I don't want that to be a surprise.
Okay, no, thank you.
No, we're not talking about the ATM again. 'cause
Right.
you got-
And it's a condition, I mean, you can put it in there, but we'll make it a condition also. Anybody, I haven't looked at the landscaping plan real hard, I don't know if anybody else did.
They're relocating some trees, so.
It's not a great landscaping area, I mean, you don't have tons to work with.
Yeah, and we were sticking more to adding the provided screening and buffering where we could. There were some smaller trees that were planted during the Aldi project that I think we can relocate and save some of those. Some of them, I don't think it's worth saving, so we've proposed some new ones as well.
And some of those were put in by the Aldi project, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so they're less than a year mature,
Right.
right?
Anything else from anybody on the board? Go ahead, Dan.
Could you just explain again the bioretention and why it's over the property line and what you're gonna do about that?
Sure. So this plan is the Aldi signed plan. When Aldi came in, they had a designated spot, kind of, it's almost like this is a lease parcel. And then within the deed and the filed maps, there's, the surrounding areas is all under a common maintenance area agreement. So when they tried to fit this in here during this phase, they had designated kind of this space off the property line as the stormwater management, the bioretention area, which would fall in the common lands that is owned by the owner of the property. We tried to contain it to our site, so we didn't spill over, but with some of the grading, I know one of the comments was 2-on-1 slope. There will all be 3-on-1, so we needed to stretch that down a little bit. But we didn't see that issue because it's filed map, it's in the deed, and that is part of the overall lands that the owner owns.
And do you guys have a common agreement for snow removal and that kind of stuff?
I'm not sure how bank deals with.
Yeah, I'm not sure,
Can you go to the microphone?
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, what is in KeyBank's lease with the landlord.
You probably not need snow removal, you see, we don't get much here. Not like Cleveland, they get pounded.
We actually have about as much as you guys right now, which is surprising.
I actually grew up in Willoughby, so,
Okay,
So
yeah, we'll probably want an answer for that.
okay.
we can get that, and we've designed it too with kind of a flush curb on the bottom so that that snow could be pushed down off into the green area.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why I was asking if it was a common type, I mean, I've leased in plazas and malls before, so I know that there's lots of stuff you don't have to worry about because somebody else takes care of it, and I didn't. The one comment that did strike me on Labella's, sheet was the 50%,
Transparency.
transparency on the north. What would be your front?
Yeah, I'm 95% sure we reached that, on the front. We have a storefront from ground to 18 feet there, and then 2 windows that flank it, that are about 12 feet wide. So we'll double check and add the calculation onto
Okay.
for the next submission.
Great. I think I bored everybody, Bernie.
Okay. Anybody else? Kate, anything from Labella?
No, nothing from Labella. As long as the applicant is good with our letter, we're good.
Okay. Anything else? See none, I think we'll see you on the 18th, unless you have any questions you have of us.
No, I think we're good. I appreciate the time, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I call you back up for one other question? So just out of curiosity, the branch you have at Culver Ridge, is that going to close once this opens?
I do not know.
It would probably be good for the public to know, so if you know by the next meeting, it
Okay.
would be, yeah.
There was, sometimes they let us know these things, sometimes they don't, the client, so I am not sure, but I
It'd be
can let
good,
you know.
I'm sure the public would want to know, so.
Okay. Yes, I can let you know that. Thank you.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if it.
Ready? Thank you.
We're ready.
Next case on the agenda is case number PB 2026.02.01. Request by GRH Architecture and Engineering for steep slope and woodlot environmental protection overlay district permits to construct a 1,872 square foot place of worship with site-related improvements on premises 333 Glen Haven Road, tax ID number 092.12-02-78.31 in the R1 residential district.
Good afternoon. I'm Reza Armanish. I'm the architect for this project. I'm working with Lakeshore Engineering, and Rodney is taking care of some of the issues with the EPOD and slope stuff. This site is in the R1 zone, but place of worship is a permitted use according to the zoning code of town of Irondequoit. The lot itself is in a EPOD zone, a steep slope and wooded trees. A lot of, because I'm right next to the Irondequoit Bay West Park. On the south, on the east, and on the west. On the west side, I'm next to this other property, which is a residential house as well. The lot itself is like 0.6 acres, 23,000 some change square foot. Goes up the hill, comes down. So the location of the building is going to be on the top of the hill, where we can get a good view of the bay. The building itself is a one-story building, block building, 1,872 square foot. There's two portions to it. One is a 16-foot high box, 36 by 36. The other side, the accessory use is 14-foot high, 16 by 36. So it's a small footprint, 1,872 square foot, the total building area. What we also have proposed, we have proposed two parking scenarios. One is that try to accommodate what the zoning code requires. The other one is the stacking parking in order to reduce the impact on the environment. And if you've been to the site and the pictures that I provided in the pamphlet that I provided, you see it's pretty much, I left everything natural. I haven't planted any shrubs, any trees. Well, there are some trees I planted, like 2 cherry trees I planted at the front, but they're only like 4 or 5 inches in caliber, so they're small. But the main trees on this site is basically red oak, silver maple or red maple, you want to call it, tulip oak or tulip, and then American beech trees. Those are the main trees that within that site. There are a couple of black walnut
Can I
on the hillside.
stop for a second?
Sure.
I'm getting at 2-foot level here. Can we get a 30,000-foot view of what you want to do with the whole project instead of individual trees at the moment? Like, there's a yellow house on there. You're going to take that down? What's going
No,
on?
that's where I live.
Okay.
I've been living there for 33 years.
So
I'm
the
very
mosque is
familiar
going
with the
on
site.
to the
Right,
south of that?
yeah, the house is here, the lot is here. So this is west, this is south, this is east. and
Yeah, I
then
get-
north.
yeah.
So the house is on the northwest of this property. So the house will stay, that's where I live.
Okay,
I'm gonna stay there. It's just the lot next to it, which is basically, is
going east
Well,
next
it's
to it,
go-
or going south next to it?
going south, north-south.
So going up the hill,
Yes.
all right?
So that's where the lot is. And the lot goes, it goes up from 290 to 304, and the building is going to be at 304.
Okay,
And then on the other side is still the site drops again.
and then you start to go into residential after that.
There's nothing there. It's all park around
Okay.
me. On three sides there are park. There's only one residence on the west side. And that's up, it's not
Yeah.
in the same level. If you notice, there's about maybe another, it's 350, so there's 304 to 350. That's the elevation of the other house that is sitting by itself. So there's only one house near me,
And how many square feet is this building?
1,872 square foot.
1,800 square feet?
1872, sir.
Okay. And how many people are you expecting to?
Under 45 people. I show on the floor plan how it's laid out, the way you pray. Basically, it's 2.5 foot by 5 foot. So when you prostrate, you don't touch the other fellow's foot. But totally 45. But keep in mind, 45 is Fridays. It's like Sundays in church. The Sunday is the
No, I-
busiest day. For the Muslims, it's Fridays.
Yeah.
So Fridays is the only day that maybe the place would be 40, 45. Other than those days, other than the Fridays,
There'll be
It's-
no other wraparound services then that you'll be offering? You will not be offering any daycare, you'll not be offering?
no, it's too
uh,
small, no. It's just, but what I did, I provided in case if
Well, it
the...
might
la-
be too small, but do you want us to restrict those uses?
Yes, sir. It's not going to be any of the only uses that I suggested in my description of the project is that in case if community wants to meet and then discuss that area, that community, Bayview Road, Glenhaven Road, if they want to meet, they can use it without any rent or anything, just free. Or interfaith. If there's an interfaith meeting, they can come and utilize it and discuss. So in order to bring the community together, so they can use it if they want to use it. But this basically mainly is for place of worship.
All right, so I am confused. There will be ancillary uses to the building aside from worship,
No.
so the neighbors can't use it.
No, I'm just saying if they want to come and talk in the interfaith, they can come and have a meeting there. So it's not ancillary, basically, it's even in churches that I've worked at a couple of churches, they have interfaith
Okay.
sessions, so
All right,
that's
I
what
don't want to get stuck on that either. Have you met with the neighbors?
There's no neighbors, I have no neighbors. The only neighbor I have is up the hill, that's it.
Well, there's neighbors to enter the property, right? I mean, when you turn off of
I'm the
Bayview-
neighbor.
When I turn off of Bayview and I'm going on to Glenhaven.
Right.
There's plenty of people that are gonna see me coming in and out, right?
Right, on top of the hill. Once you
So have
come
you
and
talked to
start,
any of them?
once you come down the hill, there's no houses around that area at all. There was one
No, I
that burned.
understand what you're saying about the immediate stuff.
Yes.
I'm asking just a general question. Have you talked to any neighbors to let them know what you're thinking
Yes, there are
about?
2 families that I've asked them to come and for support on 18th,
Okay.
that they live on Bayview Road. One is right next to the freeway, and one you come on Bayview, you go by the mile after the turn, by the mile, it's on the left side. I don't have the exact address.
Okay. I didn't want to slow us down totally, Bernie, but I wanted to figure out where we're at on the 30,000 foot level on this.
Okay.
Because I think we've got lots of other concerns.
Right. And I apologize, you said 145 families or 45?
Just 40.
No, 45.
45 families.
45, yeah.
Well, that's
And
not even.
Maximum, so there's probably 5, 6 families that they live around that area. Each one has 6, 7 kids, and that's what they do. They all usually come together on Fridays, and then usually it's from 11 to 2, that's it.
So the congregation's 45 people total?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Maximum. The occupancies cannot be more than 49, but the way I laid it out is only 45 people on Fridays. On the other days, probably 4 or 5 people, 6 people, 7 people, under 10 people for sure.
So it's a place of worship 7 days a week, though, but mostly
Yes.
on Fridays is your busy day?
Yes, sir.
for the prayers.
Okay. Rez, do you have a subdivision of the property proposed?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Subdivision of the property?
Sub-
Or is your house gonna be included in this property?
No, they're two separate properties, sir.
So you are subdividing the property?
It's already separate. The house is in a separate lot. This land by itself it's a vacant lot, a separate lot. Two different tax number. are paid-
Existing subdivision, okay.
Yes, sir. It's already two properties completely separate.
If you look at S 1.1, Nate,
Tax IDs.
That's 1.1.
That's in this big bag. Still,
Please keep in mind that all the details for, like, protecting existing trees, how we're gonna shrubs, how planting shrub trees. Once we get the approval from the planning and zoning board, then we will get into the
that
details.
is your approval from us, is all of those details.
Yes. But we
So-
can, people will provide
So the
those.
sooner you get it to us, the quicker we can react to it.
Yes, sir.
Alan, I'm sorry, you said something about S1, what?
S11 shows the property lines on it. It shows, yeah.
S11 is existing site. As you see, where I live is right next to it by the Glen Haven Road. It's almost right on the road. And then, the lot next to it, which is a 300 some linear foot deep by about 90 foot, it changes, 88 foot to 90 foot wide.
So, before I ask the Conservation Board their review of this, is there anything more you want to tell us about the project?
Well, I'll let Rodney elaborate a little bit on the site issues, drainage issues, and
Great.
EPOT
Thank you.
issues.
Please state your name and address.
Rod Prosser, owner of Lakeside Engineering in downtown Rochester. I know we have several questions that have been brought to us, and we have a memo on that. And one of them is the tree protection. And we will be losing several trees, but I believe 9, in fact, planting in their place 12 new trees of 3-inch caliber. The runoff situation is such that it'll come exclusively from the new parking area. It'll be sheet flowed through 2-inch diameter holes that will be in our major retaining wall. So it'll flow relatively slowly and carefully into an area that is currently already a deep pit, more or less, that will accept runoff, basically a natural retention area. And runoff will basically perk through the ground before it leaves the site. It's very sandy soil. We are putting up 3 new large retaining walls. There are steep slopes, but basically those slopes are going to be protected by these retaining walls, so there'll be no subsidence action. The walls are made of, we propose concrete block. They're very heavy, 2 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot or 6 foot individual pieces that go together to form the retaining wall. Used with great success on other projects. Strong, durable, actually aesthetically pretty pleasing. I think that's about all I have specifically to say. I'd be glad to answer any questions on the EPOD portion of the work.
Anyone from the board has more questions, or I was going to ask Labella or Conservation Board if you want to comment?
Hi, Kate Powers, Labella Associates. Currently, we don't have a full engineering review of this project. I do have some initial comments, however. Just one question. It looks like the highest portion of the retaining wall is 12 feet. Is that around there?
That sounds about right,
Okay.
yes.
I believe that if it's that tall, that we're going to need actual calculations under the building code. Yeah.
All right, see
for
what I
that.
can do.
Okay. And going back to the property line, it looks like in the existing survey map, the property lines don't correspond with at least 24 tax maps.
The tax maps then
So-
probably aren't, this is a survey
Sure.
certified by a licensed surveyor. I wouldn't expect there be any deficiencies of any kind. Sometimes the tax maps aren't entirely correct.
I have a comment. I have a comment on that.
Okay.
What they have is incorrect. I asked the
Okay.
surveyor specifically, because he did the trees and he did the
Yep.
lot. I asked him specifically, did you look at the deed, did you look at the record to make sure that what they show, I gave him a copy of what Michelle had given me.
Okay.
He says there's no such thing on Monroe County thing. Now, they're charging me for the tax all these years, that's fine. But the site that he gave me, the survey that he gave me, he said it is what it is based on the deed.
Okay. I don't think it's necessarily a big issue. It's more, I would probably suggest you put together a subdivision plat so that it can be signed and filed, so it can be corrected.
Well, what we have is the correct one. This is the survey that we provided is correct. The other one is incorrect. Now, whoever did that I've never done anything with those properties. So I've never done anything. But what I'm saying, what the surveyor gave us, I asked him the question. I said, this is what they show on the tax map. Is it like that? Did you check the deed? Did you check the record? He said, yes, this is what you have.
Okay. So for parking, could you explain to the board how you envision the stacking parking to operate?
Okay. There are two parking scenarios that we proposed. One is just basic, the way we come in 24 feet wide, come and go, parking on one side, which is on the east side of where the hill drops on the bottom at 290. That's one proposal. The other proposal, we said that, okay, stack parking basically, let's say on a Friday, that is the busiest time. People come, somebody's going to be on the parking, say, okay, you park. They guide them how to park. So there's going to be intended to direct people how to park. Once they finish the prayer, then the head of the prayer says, okay, first row go. Then the second row go. So as they come, they can back up and go. We've done this in the city as well. I've done it on 2 churches, stacking because there was not enough space. And here, the reason we did it, to reduce the impact, environmental impact on the site as a whole.
Okay.
So, and it's much less runoff. It's much, I like to keep it as green as possible. The site, I like to minimize the impact. So if we get the stacking, it would be really beneficial all the way around. The other thing that I was talking to Rodney about earlier, that instead of asphalt, we can have brick pavers. Usually, I've done a couple of projects that we leave the gap in between, so some green comes in, so it doesn't look, and then the water will drain readily, so we don't have any sheet drainage at all. So that's what we are proposing as well. Basically, instead of asphalt, put pavers with a gap, fill it up with sand, and then no matter what you do over there, I've tried to plant grass like 20 years ago, 25, there's nothing grows there. Anything that is there is naturally grows, so they take over. There's nothing you can, grass seeds won't grow because of the other, I guess, weed. I don't call them weed because they flower all year, when they're, not all year, but during the summer and spring.
Okay. And so for the more traditional parking lot, it looks like there are 11 parking spaces shown on the subject property, and then are there 3 on the neighboring property?
Well, 3 is like right my driveway. The house that I live in is right next door. So
Okay.
I have a garage with 2 cars. We have 2 cars, so the cars can be parked in the garage. So there's going to be 3 spaces on the driveway that people can park. Right now, sometimes there's 3 cars parked there.
Okay, and so you'll likely need a variance for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Where is the snow gonna go? Are you gonna do it over the edge or out to the street?
The snow for the, if I do pavers, it would just, I can push it, first I can push it toward the south. Okay, not toward the street. I cannot push anything toward the street.
No, I was just saying.
Because they plow that road almost 6, 7 times a day. I don't know, because the parks come, police comes, so it's constantly, they're cleaning it. So that's what we are talking, mainly pushed, if we get the stacking, if you guys approve the stacking, then there is a little bit of green that I can push the snow toward the south side of the stacking parking lot.
So I understand. I'm sorry, does the Conservation Board have anything to add? Besides, I know you sent your letter.
Well, the Conservation Board sent, did you get the letter from
Yes.
today?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. That has a lot of our comments. The biggest concern for us is that this is, we discovered that this forest area that's along the bottom of the hills there, and all along the road that goes up by Sutter's, is a mesophytic forest, which is very unique. The soils, in particular, and drainage, and many things make it so that the native species of plants, which are already being stifled a lot by invasive species, are able to thrive in these this type of ecosystem. Of course, we can't go and survey the land there at this time of year and find out what actually is growing there. I mean, we know of some species, but that's an issue. A really big issue for us is the trees, and the tree. To say that in a long, narrow property that's heavily wooded, and there is a driveway, a parking lot, and the actual mosque, to say that only 9 trees are going to be disturbed is disturbing. There's the amount of equipment that would have to be brought in, in a construction site that's well planned and even a larger area, it's very difficult to maneuver heavy equipment without doing a lot of damage to trees. And all, not just people think that if they don't just hit a tree, that the tree's going to still survive. Well, the big root, trees are, especially large trees, have a really large root base. So that's a big concern, and taking trees that are mature and replacing them with 3-inch caliber trees. Of course, it's really difficult to put bigger trees in. I understand that. So we're really concerned about that. we're concerned, and also, you know, it seems there's no sewer there, so there's gonna have to be a leach field. What do you know, how are you gonna have a leach field and not disturb a lot more of the property? You know, and also I'm a member of the Fish and Game Club. I come down that hill all the time. There's always, I'm not saying always, but most of the time that driveway area's got 3 cars and they're really close to the road. And the road is very steep there and it gets very slippery in the winter. I have to put my truck in low to get down the hill without slamming on my brakes all the time. And at the bottom of that hill where this house is and then the property's there, takes a big curve around. And on the opposite side of the road, in terms of runoff, there's a wetland and a stream that runs through the wetland. So the Conservation Board believes that it's definitely would need an environmental impact statement. That's our belief, but we are not the one to designate that. And we in general think that it's too much. You know, if you were even proposing a house there, which you know, with just a simple driveway and no parking for, you know, 45 people, we would be very concerned about this use of this particular property and you know, you can read further on the comments that we have. I don't want to beat it, you know, to death, but I'm sure the DEC is going to want to look at this. And in the proposal, it says that you're not seeking, you know, you don't believe it needs an environmental impact statement. Am I right in that, Michelle?
Say your question again, Steve.
In their proposal that said that they don't believe they need an environmental impact?
Wetland. I thought it was wetland delineation.
Oh, I don't know. If of all the, I mean, we review quite a few properties, and you know, this particular property has so much. It's practically all EPOD, and it also has surrounded by, you know, by county parks property, and then across the road there's the wetland. I think that's in the park too, right? Yeah. So, you know, my own opinion is that you might have wanted to have checked to see how suited the property was and feel out the governing forces that are on this before. I mean, this is the plans are I mean, they're beautiful. There's no doubt about that. You spent a lot of time on it. You know, it's not my decision. But without fail, all of the members of the Conservation Board had a lot of, you know, concern about it. So, and I think we've articulated it, you know, in our comments. And we also have, you know, Scott Davis, the town engineer. Arborist. What did I say? Yeah, it's arborist. You know, he's very concerned about, in particular, the trees there, but, you know, the development altogether. So, and I think he wrote a separate letter. Did you guys get the separate letter?
Yeah,
Scott
we
wrote
did.
it. Yeah, I've talked with him too as well.
Are we anywhere with the DEC on this then?
Well, I would think that I would think that someone would,
I don't know whose handwriting that is.
if this proposal went, if they were aware of this proposal, I'm convinced they would want to have an environmental impact statement done.
Can we request
I think they should be a partner in seeker, at least an interested party,
Of
right?
course.
There's a comment
Well,
on the
there's-
application that says pending New York State DEC jurisdictional.
So I did
determination.
email both the applicant and the engineer and inquired about them reaching out due to the new freshwater wetland regulations that they should complete the jurisdictional determination. And they originally came back and said no, that they didn't need it. So I don't know where you stand with that.
We've made that request already to the DEC for a determination for the wetland. According to their maps, we're over 300 feet away from the wetland and probably about 30 foot above it. We're really not concerned with it, as you probably are aware from what we've been saying, but we've gone to the DEC now. The unfortunate thing is, they're about a 6-month delay to getting out there and doing their flagging, but I guess so be it. We'll do what we have to do to make it right for you.
And those regulations have just been updated, so that's why I did that originally, is to refer you to them, because they have been updated, and they have their own mapping system. How do I say it, Kate?
Sure, they essentially are, changing how they categorize wetlands, and it's wetlands of unusual importance, or something along those lines. So if you're in an urbanized area, if you're in an area where there were previously mapped wetlands, are there rare plants and animals? So they have different criteria they use, and also, now smaller wetlands, are being regulated when previously you had to meet a certain, acreage threshold.
Are they gonna wanna comment on this septic system?
So, I believe that Department of Health
Right,
needs to approve this.
but that's leaching somewhere, right?
So, I did see that the applicant provided some additional information on the, membrane system.
Yep.
We're not super familiar with this. This isn't
Yeah,
like a
that's I would
traditional
need.
septic system. And so we're not sure, do you need a perk test to know the infiltration rates of the soil there? How much space do you need? Do you need expansion, space, et cetera?
Or even the equipment to bring in, to put it in the ground, what's that gonna disturb?
Sure. And so DOH will ultimately be the entity to approve. We could review it, but why
No, I mean,
double it?
right,
So
yeah, no,
Department of Health
that's
will
the
review
county's
it, but
responsibility.
obviously that impacts the site plan.
Yeah,
Because where is it gonna go, how big is it, and, what's involved in the installation of it. So we'll take a look at this, but ultimately it will be Department of Health. And so I sort of started going through some questions and some comments. We have quite a few more, but we'll have a full engineered comment letter. We're aiming for Friday, so that's gonna include the stormwater, graining, drainage, looking at the retaining wall, those big items.
I also, I'm not sure that this is gonna trigger a traffic study, but that road is not, I drove right by your house today. I could have walked into it from my driver's door open. You were really close there.
Yes,
what
Glen
makes-
Haven is pretty narrow, especially once you get to the slope that is going down in front on the north of the site. Today, actually, if you notice, there is a lot of people that go ice fishing.
Yeah,
So they just park on the other side, on the east side of the Glen Haven Road. Even it didn't used to be, but after they changed the name, Glen Haven Road goes after the turn. It goes a little bit, and then it stops, and it's named differently. I'd just like to add to some of the items that the gentleman mentioned, specifically trees. Where the parking shows, we only have two big trees. There's no trees. There's one red oak and one tulip oak. Those are the two.
There is no such thing as a tulip poplar.
Okay, tulip poplar, that's what I,
Because I've said, just to correct that, because
yes, sir, we can
they're
correct
not
that.
an oak species.
Yes, that's what they told me, but that's fine, I can correct that, that's not a problem. So there are two big trees where the parking is gonna be. If we do stacking parking, only one tree is impacted. And then that's the one closest, red oak, that is closest to Glen Haven Road. So that's one issue, that the trees that we are removing is mainly on top of the hill where the building is gonna be. But we are proposing, basically, their silver maple or red maple, you might call it, red oak, American beech, and couple of sassafras trees grow back there as well, but those are not impacted. Just the main ones are basically, there's no cherry trees on top of the hill, even though the surveyor initially corrected it. He thought it's because the American beech the leaves look very much like the cherry trees. I have two cherry trees, that's what he was looking at the front, and he thought that those are cherry trees as well.
But you don't think that the machinery going on the property would be damaging anything? Any of the trees?
Well, the machinery is not going to be able to go up the hill, ma'am. So the only place that the machinery is going to be is where the parking area, we showed the parking area. And they're not going to go up the hill, no.
And the leach field. You're gonna need.
Yes, I just passed the system that we have, Fuji Clean USA. This system is 8 foot by 4 foot by 5 foot. It's self-contained. The water that comes out is clean. It can be used for irrigation. And then it's very small. Its footprint, it goes below grade, and then it just.
Probably be helpful for you to have somebody from this company come and talk to us a little bit about this, because I'm unfamiliar with it. And
Right.
I'm sure that it's all right there, but it would be helpful for us. I've got another question on this stack parking or the regular parking. Where are the fire trucks going if they need to access a property?
Well, they can, if even it's stacked parking, they can still come up. The road is like this, so I have to come up, and then for the stacking, so the fire truck can park there, and they pull there.
So it'll be wide enough for a fire truck to go up it
Yes.
without,
20 feet is minimum I need for a fire truck to get in and get out, access. So, and then, so that would be sufficient enough for the fire truck to get out there.
okay, 'cause I definitely, to staff, would like to see
To get them out, how do you get them?
the fire department comment as well as the ambulance service comments.
No, another thing that, if this project does go through, anything that's paved could be paved with, pervious pavement as opposed to regular asphalt or concrete or whatever, which would allow more water to, go through it than pavers.
Yes.
With pavers, you're only gonna get drainage through the joints of the pavers, but pervious pavement, it would help on the runoff.
We would be more than happy to provide that. Actually, at City Hall, they have one of those systems, the asphalt to the north of it, Rochester City Hall. That's what they did. So the water soaks in. The only negative thing about it is that now I've been talking to the city engineer. Sometimes some of the gravel comes loose, so if somebody goes, it can hit another windshield. But we can entertain that. We don't have any problem with that.
So Reza, can I ask, what do you brought this forward, what was it you were looking for next, at the next public meeting?
I don't think with all the information that you're requesting, I think we need more than 1 week to address all these issues. At least maybe delay it for a couple of months to talk to like I said, I'll go get letters from the neighborhood people. I'll go to the fire department. DEC, Rod already has sent a letter. Actually, he sent me a letter that I had to sign so DEC could come for delineation and demarcation and basically determination. So I signed it. I also sent a copy to Michelle this afternoon, actually today, I guess last night, really late. I sent that so we show that we are pursuing DEC. Rod wrote a letter and I signed it. And then, so they are on board, like as Rod mentioned, is usually 6 months down the line. But at least we can get all the other issues that are concerned, the preservation, the town engineer, and the board. We can address those. We need at least a couple of months to address those to alleviate some of the concern that is there. Like I said, even the trees that we are removing, if you notice on the level ground where the parking is, there's a lot of weeds and vegetation. I don't call it weed because they flower different colors, different time, and bees come, birds come, and I like that. So that's one thing. That's why I want to get the stacking parking, because then most of the site, it remains on the hills, nothing grows. The only thing is Boston fern, or I don't know if it's a fern. I don't know if it's Boston fern or not, but that's the only thing that grows in that area. If you walk back there and go back all the way, go to the park, you see that it's pretty much not few, like I said, mainly fern. Ferns grows pretty good. And then there's some forsythias, they've been growing pretty well too. Forsythia grows well. Magnolia grows really well in that soil. But we are, even as far as the plants are concerned, in front of the retaining wall, in order not to be seen from the road as you come up. So I was thinking of chokeberry, something native, maybe chokeberry bushes, shrubs. So it would cover that, and then it would further reduce the soil erosion. But I've been there 32 years. That hill is covered with greens, so it has stayed stable.
It's a beautiful location. I mean,
And then, so that's, I've tried, like I said, if you know, as you drove by, you see, I like to keep it natural. So that's why we're proposing the stack parking. And even the building, if you look at the colors that we propose, what I did, I walk every day in the woods, every day. I have a German Shepherd, I go to. So now what I did, I took the American beech trees. One side of the leaf is darker, one side is lighter. That's the color of the building. And if you look at the picture that I included, look at the hill, it's that color. So the building will fade away, pretty much. I'm trying not to like put blue or red or basically the same color as the American beech tree. One side is darker, one side is lighter. The lighter one would be accent colors. The main portion of the building would be the darker color of the beech tree leaves.
a couple other things I'd like you to think about before you come back to us is lighting on the building, and also if there's going to be a call to prayer that's going to be audible.
No.
Okay.
No, there's no, and the inside, as far as outside.
Is there going to be any chimes in the minaret or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, I brought a,
Pardon?
I'll bring that.
Yeah, I don't know.
This one, the blue came up, but it's supposed to go.
Okay.
I showed the site, and this is actually exactly, based on the survey map, I had a 3D printer that they printed it.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's, it is, also, this is the building itself. I'll just hands-on to.
Yeah, look at this. This is like downtown shit.
It's a very small building, it's not that large. It's smaller than a medium-sized house.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Why do you make,
Sorry.
I've talked to a lot of the neighbors there because I happen to know people there, a lot of the people that are members of the Fish and Game Club,
Yes.
they live there. They're certainly, you can bring people that are supportive, but when you have a hearing, you're gonna probably have a lot of people that are opposed to it. And I understand it's a beautiful area and it would probably end up being a nice, very nice looking building. I'm just wondering why you wouldn't find a piece of, maybe it's because you own the land, but why you wouldn't find a property that didn't have all these issues to deal with, environmental issues and parking, driveway exiting, on a curve, on a steep curve, these things.
It's the location, sir. The location
But
is
the location is.
very nice.
It's good and peaceful, but
Yes.
it's got so many issues to deal with.
Yes, it's basically most of the issue, as you mentioned, there are side issues that we have to deal with as far as drainage, as far as the landscaping, existing trees. But we will deal with it as per
Well,
your suggestions and recommendations.
we have, in regard to the trees, we've had many projects where they tell us that, that the trees aren't going to be disturbed, and we find that even if they make good attempts not to, when they're moving, when they're having heavy equipment in there, I mean, you gotta create a driveway, you've gotta create, and you got that winding path, which, but you gotta do the foundation and the whole building up on the hill, and the parking area, and to say that only 9 trees are gonna be affected, to me, is, I just find, and the fact that it's in this mesophytic, phytic forest seems like a stretch compared to finding a property where you don't have all these issues. The building is, it's gorgeous, I mean, I'm sure it would really look nice, but I don't know.
So Reza,
Yes.
do you allow applicants to come to your meeting?
Oh, sure.
So I don't know if in the time that it's going to take to resolve this, if you could meet with the conservation.
Sure, I
board,
would be more than
and
happy.
maybe also invite the arborist, if you could.
He's,
He's there?
Scott's generally at our,
Right.
he's generally at our meetings.
Because if I.
Oh, yeah, we have public input, but generally our rule, Michelle knows this better, but I think it's 5 minutes that, it's 5 minutes that we allow for public input, although we stretch that from time to
For
time.
public input or for applicants?
But Michelle's a better person to ask that of,
The question was,
he's suggesting that they come and talk about the environmental issues with us, with the Conservation Board directly at one of our meetings.
Sure.
but are they limited to 5 minutes, or can they take whatever time they need?
They can, present to the Conservation Board,
Sure.
the applicant and the agent you're talking about?
Yes.
What's
I,
Bernie's
it was my suggestion, that in the time that we're waiting, because he's bringing up a lot of concerns that, there,
It's, you can mitigate certain things. I'm not denying that. It's just that there's so much.
but yeah, I just want to make
Yeah,
sure
they-
everybody's comfortable as we go forward, and there's going to be time.
When you're thinking about the fire issue too, all right, the fire marshal's gonna say, well, if you're using this stack parking or any kind of parking, the amount of time to get, if there was something up at the mosque,
The fire, they would run in the woods, sir. Why would they run to the car?
No,
It's
but how would
open
they get, how would
space.
they get fire equipment in there if they've
So
gotta
we've asked
take
for the
turns
fire
getting?
department, right, we've
Yeah.
asked for the fire department to comment, so I think it's best we wait for that to see it.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
there
we can, I can contact the local, I think,
Laurelton?
Loreton, yes. They're the one that they come to my house. Actually, they've come a couple of times. They were asking questions. So I can contact them and meet with them.
I think the town will take care of
Yeah,
that
you're
for
gonna make
us.
that request for us, yeah.
Yes.
yeah. So, no, I think it's good. I just think I wanna make sure that everything gets addressed. It sounds like
Yes.
you're very concerned for the, environment. The Conservation
Yeah.
Board's very concerned for the environment.
Right.
So I think it'd be good if everybody meets
Sure.
and so we get all the information.
Yeah, I would be more than happy to meet all the groups that try to alleviate as much as the concerns they have. That's not a problem. I'm adamant about to making this happen. So no matter what, whatever they want, I mean, certain things, we have to be realistic. There are trees going up the hill, it's not gonna get impacted.
I'm just happy that you're not looking for a ruling next week. So,
Yes,
that's
no,
good.
I think we have to postpone it, maybe a couple of months.
Right. And then,
at least.
Michelle,
I'll
could you,
write
I'll just need it in writing, Reza.
no problem, I'll write an email to you when
Another note I wanted to make note of is that the short environmental assessment form, remember I asked you to redo it through the EAF mapper?
Okay,
This form that was submitted is the old form.
okay, well, I'll talk to.
This is not the new form.
I basically made a number of attempts to use that software, and it just wasn't possible. I tried to call the DEC, I left word with Steve Miller to help me, I never got a call back. I know there is one error, on the percentage of coverage of the lot, and that will be corrected.
So you
But
can
if
also,
someone's used that mapper before with success, I'd like to know about it and
Okay.
get some help with it.
there's also the form that's on their website. So if you pull up their form, it's a fillable form as well.
Can I use that?
You could use that as long as it's the correct form.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do the fillable form.
Rosa, what zoning variances are you applying for this project?
Mainly if we go with stack parking. Everything else, I annotated it on the side of the sheet A, S-1.2. I put which one the variance is required. And mainly it's the stack parking.
Have you applied for that yet?
No, sir, but I'm just trying to get through all this before I go to the zone. I don't know, maybe I'm kind of lost a little bit. When at the city, or let's say Henrietta or Brighton, you go to planning board, once you get the blessing of the planning board, then you go to zoning board. Then the zoning board approves it, then you go to preservation board. So it's just steps that they like to follow before you go to the next. They won't even sign you up till you get the blessing of, and then they decide which board you have to get the blessing from first. Then you go to the next, and whatever. That's been how I've been dealing with these projects. Like there are churches I'm doing, there are other commercial building I'm doing. So that's what we have to do when we have to deal with. First, they send us to planning board. Then, if there's issues, they send us to zoning board. Then, if it's a preservation area, then they send us to the preservation board.
so Michelle, do you wanna clarify for him? He's taking the correct steps, is that correct?
Yes, but I believe that you should have reached out to the DEC
Right.
beforehand or in conjunction with submitting your application for the E-Pods, as well as any other agencies that would be required to comment
Sure.
on.
Like I said, Rod pursued that. I even sent a letter that I signed that I permitted the DEC to come for delineation and determination. So that's that email. So that's gone to them.
Go ahead.
But like I said, we need to postpone the 18th. There's no way we can get everything together like that. At least 2 months to 3 months period in order to meet with every group, preservation group, fire department, a neighborhood, and so we can get support.
And Michelle, could I ask, could you make sure the board gets the EPOD 1, EPOD 2, and EPOD 3 regulations just to review so that we're fully familiar with them before we review this again? Unless there's somebody here that knows those like the back of
Do
their
you
hand.
want it emailed or hard copy?
Email is great.
Email should work, unless somebody wants hard copy. They could pick it up maybe, so.
If I want a hard copy, I can print it.
I think we're addressing all the concerns, you have
Yes.
everything. And as long as you send that letter, then it won't be on next week's, or
Can I
next.
ask next time that maybe we do a sketch plan on this instead of a full workshop?
Well, I was gonna recommend, you asked the process, so Town of Arundecoit does have a sketch plan process where you could have come in and talked about what you're looking to do.
Right.
And get some different ideas from the board and so forth. A lot of people do it that way.
Right, I tried, someone told me, I need to see this is an EPOD, you have to go through the whole process, and I said
You're gonna have
yes.
to- yeah.
I didn't question it, but no problem.
Okay, yeah, EPOD's gonna be, we're gonna have to look at that closely. Okay, any other questions? Oh, I know, I had one other question. The current congregation, where do they currently worship?
They probably go to Brighton. One place is in Brighton, one place is on Culver Road, it's in the city, near East Main. There's a couple of places in the city. There's one on Bay Street that I forgot the number. I've actually was a church. They converted it to a mosque. I've worked on that project myself. I know they go there. Those are the three places that I know based on my discussion with the people that live around that area that of that faith.
So out of curiosity, I guess, more than anything, you're gonna probably have the most beautiful mosque in the area. Or
I'll
one
leave
of the-
that
one
for
of the most
people to
beautiful-
say if it's
one of the most
beautiful or
You gotta be
not.
careful how I say that.
I cannot, as a designer, we stay away from if it's the most beautiful.
Okay, so
People decide if
One of
it's
the nicest.
appropriate.
We'll say one of the nicest. How are you gonna control how many people actually come to this then?
Well,
You said
but
that-
basically, what we have to do with the, like, let's say 45 people, we have to have a special keypad or passport, a credit card that they can go in. So, and then if it's, like I said, if it's more than 45 people, we're gonna say, well, we are full. There gotta be someone controlling it. I'm not saying me, but whoever is running the
It would be good,
place of worship.
good, at least the board understood that.
Yes.
How that's gonna be controlled. Only
Right.
because I was wondering, it's gonna be very beautiful. Everybody's gonna probably wanna go there is what I'm thinking, so.
I don't want to make more work for you, Michelle, but can we also get an occupancy on the building as proposed from the fire department?
The more information we have, the better. So
Yes.
If this helps.
Actually, if you look at the, like, in your question, sir, look at the New York State Building Code, it says 7 square foot. I've done several mosque projects. One is Albany, it's 56,000, it's a big. So what we had to do in order to say, okay, we need minimum 10 square foot per person, not 7. So I took the prayer log, showed them in front of the engineers, lawyers, everybody says. So we got a variance from the state for that dimension. So it's bigger than 7 square foot, usually 10 to 12 square foot per person, as opposed to 7. New York State Building Code indicates 7 square foot per person. But there's no way somebody can prostrate and not touch the foot of the other person, so that you gotta give it enough distance.
I'm just thinking of other uses other than prayer, is my only question on this, and I think that I've got to look at the whole prayer
Right,
thing, not just your specific use.
I understand.
All right. Because once you build it, it can become whatever's allowed in an R1, right?
Yeah, well, they have to control it, sir. They have to, we have to write the bylaws, a lawyer has to do that. So they have to keep those regulations intact. They cannot come and change it.
Lots to do before we get there, so I'm
Yes, sir.
excited to work with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thanks for everybody, and thank you, sir, for your comments. We would like to work with you to make sure to alleviate as many issues as possible, the same what all the concern that the board members had. But we want to make it a nice place, keep it as natural as possible.
Okay.
I mean, on these drawings that I submitted, it shows grass around it. There's not going to be no grass. Like the picture I showed you, it's leaves, the color, that's how it's going to stay. Even the walk that goes up, it's going to be stone. It's the same color as the leaves, so you can't see the walk for the accessibility for the wheelchair. It's not going to be a concrete. It's going to be like stone, same color as the birch leaves.
Got it. Okay, any other questions before we, do you have any other questions for us?
No, sir, I will coordinate with Michelle and try to get this information together and go meet with the departments that I need to meet and come back at that time.
So I just got one clarifying question. So is there going to be a public hearing on this next, because you advertised it as such?
Oh, can you hear me? Yes, it has been advertised and scheduled as a public hearing for next month, but if you wish to postpone it,
Yes.
I can, after I receive your email, I can put it out there to postpone. The public hearing for this case has been postponed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send an email to you either tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for everybody's
Any other
time.
questions? Michelle, no other business? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
And I have a second. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye. We're adjourned.